Kids, why do they present a unique opportunity for prevention for those of you with autoimmunity? And how do kids already with autoimmunity present a unique case for a unique intervention in dealing with autoimmunity? Hey, everybody, I'm Maggie Yu, MD, and I am a functional and holistic medicine MD, and I am the creator of Transform, a protocol for turning around your autoimmune disease naturally. Today, we are having a big topic all around children and kids. And why I wanted to bring this up is because I really think we've had a lot of questions in our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, around this in the last couple of weeks. Parents are really in a quandary because in addition to, I can understand you having your own autoimmune issues, but what about when you see your kid have a known autoimmune issue? That is one camp, right? Parents who are really struggling with kids with known autoimmune issues. On the other camp, many of you are watching this. You have autoimmune issues and you've wondered, and you already know with your gut check and your heart check that autoimmunity is a genetic issue. You already know that your kids are at much higher risk data-wise. And number two, you're already starting to see signs that you're already wondering, or in your gut, you already know, I think that's an early sign of autoimmunity. So there's a second camp here, which is of parents, which are, I have an autoimmune disease, and now I wonder if some of my children's symptoms are early autoimmune related. What should I be watching out for? And how can I prevent my child from ever turning into having an autoimmune disease, right? So parents with kids who don't have an autoimmune yet are really interested in what are early signs and what can I do to prevent them ever having that diagnosis. Our online program has been going on for about 4 years. We've had over at least 1,000 clients go through our program with incredible results and outcomes, right? And so we've had a lot of parents who've been dealing with autoimmunity. There is a very different way to do this, whether you're interested in intervening in your child already with autoimmune issues, or you're trying to prevent autoimmune issues with your children, right? Clearly, what we're doing right now in conventional medicine for autoimmunity sucks for us adults already. But then again, for children, it's even worse because they're not good at communicating. Pediatricians are poorly trained. And then number three, we have completely missed the boat on early signs of autoimmunity that are completely linked to higher risk of autoimmune disease, in my opinion. I'm a physician for 24 years, maybe 25 at this point. First 10 years as a family medicine doctor. I got sick with autoimmune disease. I was much later, diagnosed with Hashimoto's. And both my children had severe issues relating with their health that I know now are autoimmune related. Back then I didn't. I just thought my kids had a lot of health issues. So let's dive in. Let's share my experience as a parent myself and as a teacher in the program Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, what I'm teaching our clients. So number one is autism spectrum disorder. I can already tell you right now, I have a child on the spectrum, and many of you with autoimmunity are looking at me like bing, 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 bing right now. And you should look at me like bing, 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 bing right now. And the reason is that autoimmune mothers and fathers have a much higher chance of helping children who are in the autism spectrum, and also ADD and ADHD. And that's from my experience, okay? And this is an experience where I gathered a lot of autoimmune parents. I had one of the clinics with the biggest autoimmune population, functional clinics in Oregon, that had the biggest autoimmune population. People brought their kids to me, and many of them had spectrum issues, autism spectrum, and they also have ADD, ADHD symptoms. These are hugely linked with future risk of autoimmunity. And I already know this. You know why? How many of you have autoimmune issues and have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD? How many of you have had severe brain fog, right? How many of you, even looking back when you were a child, had behavioral issues? Okay, that you can now clearly see there's a link from childhood to now, right? And I just had a conversation with a bunch of my alumni about this, about how often too, many people with autoimmune disease, adults, are also misdiagnosed with having ADD, bipolar disorder, severe anxiety, depression, because a lot of these are actually targets of autoimmune attack and symptoms relating with autoimmunity not treated properly, not reversed properly. So in our children, I'm going to tell you that autism spectrum, we will find in 5-10 years, you're going to see, oh my gosh, there's actually genetic testing to show you the gene that's linked with autoimmune disease and autism spectrum. There's just a much higher rate. So don't take autism spectrum disorder lightly or ADHD lightly in your kid as a separate disorder. These are red flags for big autoimmune issues later. And which is why, for me, this population could be really benefit from a root cause approach at a very young stage to intervene, because their likelihood of rebound and permanent damage is their likelihood of rebound is so much higher. Their risk for permanent damage is also much lower. So it's a very unique population with which your interventions are going to very quickly see some results. And what you're preventing is huge very early in the game. So interestingly, we have had many parents with kids with autism spectrum go through our program. We also have had parents who themselves or their kids have ADHD and have seen huge dramatic turnaround with the root cause approach. Because if you think about it, conventional medicine for autism spectrum is really no treatment, medications for some of the symptoms, and psychotherapy or PT or OT to help with some of these physical symptoms, but nothing to stop it. And it's really god awful. The loneliest thing is to be a parent of a sick kid, right? Mandy just told me that today, one of our alumni who's graduating with a 9-year-old daughter who just went through our program. Mandy was telling me that being a parent of a sick child is the loneliest thing on the planet, especially when you feel like nobody else knows what the hell they're talking about, what they're doing, and they don't even understand there's an autoimmune link to this. Currently, the program is called Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, but I could have easily renamed the program Transform Autism Naturally or Transform ADHD Naturally, because those two groups are, these symptoms are so autoimmune related, and a root cause approach to autoimmunity can turn these symptoms around very quickly in adults and in children, period. Okay. So don't miss those signs, because the rates of both ADHD and autism spectrum is sky high with one parent with autoimmunity. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, click the link to join the Facebook group. It's free. And there's tons of bonus trainings and educational videos just like this in there. If you're following us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified every time I go live. If you're on Instagram watching this, make sure you give us a follow.